I didn't expect 58 to feel like this. Now, you're not old, but you're not early career either. You're experienced, you're capable, you know what you're doing. But something has shifted. The ambition doesn't feel the same. The competition feels more tiring. And the culture at work feels slightly younger. Retirement isn't here yet, but starting over doesn't feel realistic for you either. So what are you supposed to do in this middle space? Because that middle space is where a lot of sensible people quietly unravel. No one really talks about this stage. In your 30s and 40s, the path feels upward. You're building, climbing, proving. But somewhere in your 50s, something changes. You're not trying to impress anyone anymore. You're not chasing status. You're thinking about energy and risk. And how many more years do you want to give to something that doesn't feel like it fits in the same way? Now, that's not laziness. It's more awareness. And here's an uncomfortable bit. Corporate culture doesn't stay still. It moves younger. It moves faster. It rewards visibility and constant adaptation. And if you've been in your industry a long time, you start noticing something subtle. You are respected, but you're not central anymore. You're valuable, but you're not the future. And no one says it out loud, but you feel it. And that feeling creates tension. Now, here's where retirement enters the picture. You might have savings. You might have a pension. You might even be on track, but you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're 7 years away, maybe 9, maybe even 10. And that gap is too long to mentally check out completely, but too short to reinvent yourself aggressively. So you sit in this strange psychological space. You're cautious, but restless. Stable, but slightly detached. And here's a thought that creeps in. What if I've already peaked? Not financially, identity-wise. And that's the one that hits hard. Because if you don't want to climb higher, and you don't want to jump sideways, and you're not ready to leave yet, then who are you in this phase? That question isn't about money. It's about relevance. Now let me give you something real. This week we discovered a leak in our property. Now it's probably been there for months, maybe even years. And you don't see it at first. It travels quietly, along beams, through structure, and eventually it shows up somewhere completely unexpected. And that's what this midlife stage can feel like. The pressure builds slowly. You ignore it, you push through it, and then one day it surfaces. Not dramatically, just quietly, as dissatisfaction or anxiety or detachment. And the hardest part of this stage isn't the numbers, it's accepting that this phase isn't about growth. It's about management, managing risk, managing your energy, managing your identity. You don't have to reinvent yourself, but you also don't have to pretend you're 35 anymore. This isn't about chasing, it's about positioning yourself calmly for your exit on your terms when you choose it. Now, if you're in this space, you're not broken, you're not unmotivated, you're not behind, you're in transition. And transition can be uncomfortable, but it's also honest. Too old to start over, too young to retire. That's not failure. It's just a phase most people don't really admit they're in. And I think the more we talk about it, the less isolating it becomes.